Morgen, Jahrzehnt. Heute ist unser Titel Wie komme ich zur Oper? To start, I wonder if you're able to complete this crossword by translating the words in yellow and blue into English. I'd like you to write down your answers 1 to 6 in your books. I'd like you to pause the video now to give you time to do that. We're going to begin by looking at the ones that go down. So number 1, links, means left. Number 2, langweilig, means boring. Number 5, kostenlos, means free. Literally los, meaning without, kosten, cost. And across, schön, means beautiful. Rechts means right. Oft means often. And einfach means easy. And hopefully you found this relatively easy. Maybe you had to look up one word, but other than that you could fill that crossword in. So, our title today is Wie komme ich zur Oper? We're going to be asking for and understanding directions to sites in Vienna, and we're going to be using imperatives. I wonder if any of you have been to Vienna, or Wien as they call it in Austrian German. Here's a map of the Wien Stadtmitte, the centre of the city in Vienna, and we have various landmarks shown with the various letters. We're going to go through how to say these, and I'd like you to repeat them after me. Der Stephansdom. This is St. Stephen's Cathedral. Der Rathausplatz. Now, a Rathaus is a town or city hall, and a Platz is a square, and so this is referring to the square in front of the city hall, where they often have things like the Christmas markets. Der Michaelerplatz. Der Burggarten. This is the castle garden. Die Oper. This is the opera house. Die Kärtnerstraße. This is the famous shopping street in Vienna, a bit like Oxford Street in London. Das Rathaus. The city hall. Das Burgtheater. The Castle Theatre. Das Kunsthistorische Museum. The History of Art Museum. We're now going to look at one of our key grammar points for today. Zu. The preposition zu always takes the dative case. So if we have a masculine place, like der Rathausplatz, meaning the town hall square, if we're going to it, we have to use zu dem, which we shorten to zum. Ich gehe zum Rathausplatz. I'm going to the town or city hall square. If we have a feminine place like die Oper, the opera house, we change it to ich gehe zu der, which we shorten to zur Oper. Ich gehe zur Oper. I'm going to the opera house. With a neuter place like das Museum, we use zu dem again, which becomes zum. Ich gehe zum Museum. I'm going to the museum. Please repeat after me. Zum, zur, zum. I'd like you to see if you can then translate the following 5 sentences for me. I'd like you to use the grammar point to help you, along with the verb table of gehen, to go. I'd like you to pause the video now to give you time to do that. I'm going to go through the answers now. Number 1, I go to the town hall. Ich gehe zum Rathaus, because it's das Rathaus Neuter. Number 2, you go to the opera house. Du gehst zur Oper. Number 3, he goes to the museum. Geht zum Museum. Number 4, she goes to Michaelerplatz. Sie geht zum Michaelerplatz. And finally, we go to Stephansdom. Wir gehen zum Stephansdom. Now, if you are walking around Vienna with an Austrian friend, they might ask you this question. Wo würdest du gern hingehen? What do you think this question would mean? Correct. Where would you like to go? So you could say, ich würde gern zur Oper gehen. I'd like to go to the opera house. But if you would like to do something more than that, you could say, ich würde lieber zum Burgtheater gehen. I would prefer to go to the Castle Theatre. But if you wanted to show a real love for something, a real desire, you'd say, ich würde am liebsten zum Rathausplatz gehen. I'd like to go most of all to the City Hall Square. But if you didn't want to go somewhere, you could say, ich würde nicht gern zum Burggarten gehen. I would not like to go to the castle garden. So, we've had a look at sites in Vienna, and we've looked at using zu, but we're now going to look at understanding directions. Here are 3 common directions that you should know already. Geh rechts. Go right. Geh links. Go left. Geh geradeaus. Go straight on, or go straight ahead. We're now going to look at our second grammar point today. The imperative. The imperative is used to give commands, but it's very important that you make sure you've chosen the correct register. So making sure you know, are you talking to a friend, in which case du, to friends, ihr, or to an adult or adults using sie. And that changes which imperative you use. So if we look at the imperative go, someone asks you directions, you want to say go right or go left, it changes depending on who's receiving the command. So for instance, if you want to talk to one friend or family member, you normally say du to. In the present tense, du gehst means you go. But if you want to say go, you take off the st and you say geh. With ihr, so talking to 2 or more friends or family members, it's normally in the present tense, ihr geht, you plural, go. And in the imperative, we keep that ending, getting rid of the subject, we say geht. And lastly, in the formal, 1 or more adults would normally be sie gehen. In the imperative, we switch around the order, gehen sie. So in real life examples, you could say, geh geradeaus, go straight on. Or, geht über die Brücke, to a group of people, go over the bridge. Or in a formal setting, gehen Sie an der Kreuzung rechts, go right at the crossing. Some verbs, though, have irregular du forms. For instance, the verb nehmen, to take, in the present sense with du is du nimmst. So again we take off the st for the imperative, nimm means take. Then we have ihr nehmt, that's you plural, take, becomes nehmt, meaning take. And sie nehmen, you formal, meaning you take, becomes nehmen sie. Here are some real life examples again. Nimm die zweite Straße links, take the second street on the left. Nehmt die erste Straße rechts, take the first street on the right, and you'd use nehmt for a plural group. Nehmen Sie die vierte Straße rechts, take the 4th street on the right. And again with fahren. Now fahren, the verb to travel or drive, in the present tense is du fährst, but in the imperative we don't keep the umlaut and it's fahr. Okay? Then ihr fahrt against goes to fahrt, Sie fahren, fahren Sie. Here are some real life examples. Fahr geradeaus, drive straight on. Fahrt über die Brücke, drive over the bridge. Fahren Sie bis zum Ende der Straße. Drive to the end of the street. We're now going to do a listening task, and I'd like you to draw out this table. Where would the characters most like to go and why? And I just want you to put down the letter that corresponds to that. And if you want this map open, it's in your textbook on page 100. I'd like you to give reasons, and then where would they not like to go and why? And also, can you write down what directions are given in the dialogue, even if those aren't the directions explicitly to the place they're going? What directions do you pick up?
Eins.
Alicia, wo würdest du gern hingehen? Ich würde gern zum Rathausplatz gehen, weil es dort das Sommerkino-Filmfestival gibt. Man kann kostenlos einen Film im Freien sehen. Ich würde aber nicht gern ins Rathaus gehen, weil ich das langweilig finde.
Kein Problem. Geh hier links und dann geradeaus. Der Rathausplatz ist nicht weit weg.
2.
Liesel, würdest du auch gern zum Rathausplatz gehen?
Ja, aber ich würde lieber zum Dom gehen, weil es dort Musiker und Tänzer gibt. Ich würde aber gar nicht gern zur Staatsoper gehen, weil mich die gar nicht interessiert.
Zum Dom geh hier rechts und dann geradeaus.
3.
Ruben, wo würdest du gern hingehen?
Ich interessiere mich nicht für die Sehenswürdigkeiten, aber ich würde gern zum Burggarten gehen, um Fußball zu spielen. Ich gehe nicht gern einkaufen, also will ich nicht zur Kärntner Straße gehen. Einkaufen geht mir auf die Nerven.
Okay, der Weg zum Burggarten ist am einfachsten. Geh geradeaus.
4.
Zum Burggarten geh zuerst links und dann geradeaus, denke ich. Das ist gar nicht weit weg und sieht schön aus. Möchtest du mitkommen, Marek?
Ja, aber ich würde lieber zum Burgtheater gehen, weil es dort diese Woche ein Benefizkonzert gibt.
Das ist gut. Und wir könnten dann auch ins Museum gehen, nicht?
Nein, danke. Ich würde gar nicht gern ins Museum gehen, weil wir letztes Jahr mit der Klasse sehr oft ins Museum gegangen sind.
If you didn't catch any of those, I'd like you to rewind the video, as I'm going to be going through the answers in a moment. So, Alicia wants to go to the Rathausplatz, the City Hall Square, because there's a summer cinema film festival there which is free. She doesn't want to go to das Rathaus, the City Hall, because it's boring, and the directions are given to go left here and then straight on. Liesel wants to go to Stephansdom, St. Stephen's Cathedral, because there are musicians and dancers there. She doesn't want to go to the Opera House because she's not interested. And the directions given are go right here and then straight on. Ruben wants to go to der Burggarten, to the castle garden, because he wants to play football and he doesn't like sightseeing. He doesn't want to go to die Kärntner Straße, the famous shopping street, because he doesn't like shopping, it gets on his nerves. The directions are given, go straight on, geh geradeaus. Marek wants to go to das Burgtheater, the city theatre, because there's a charity concert on this week. She doesn't want to go to das Kunsthistorische Museum, the History of Art Museum, because she often went to the museum last year, sorry it's a he, with his class, and first go left and then straight on. Here are the transcripts from Ruben and Marek, the third and fourth ones from that listening activity. Your homework today is to translate both of these texts into English. As usual, I'd like you to send your translation to me at jwatson@stbeads.cambs.sch.uk. The first person to send in the translation will receive 3 merits on ePraise, and after that it'll be 1 merit for every good entry. I haven't given you any vocab to help you today, and I'd like you to be working independently and going on dich.cc to look up any words that you get stuck on. If you look at number 3, it says, Ruben, wo würdest du gern hingehen? Ruben, where would you like to go? And I would like you to start with number 3 and then do number 4. I hope you're all well. I'm looking forward to seeing some of you back in school. Auf Wiedersehen.